A warm welcome. Hi, how are you? I'm good. I'm glad to be there.
Swati, guys, he's here, he's here. ठीक है, only he'll be visible अभी. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shri Ashok Kumar ji, Special Secretary and DG Namami Gange. Sir, we welcome you to this conclave and very kind of you to be part of this conclave and give your precious time. Sir, you want? Okay. 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 Okay, so we have this conclave here, which is called the Planning of Water Conservation for Climate Resilient Cities. So every city today, has been extracting the groundwater. The water agencies, they formally indulge in the extraction of the groundwater, and households also are into it. They are individually and privately actually extracting the groundwater. And where the official pipelines are failing, we have this mafia of tankers getting into it. The bottling water industry, which is very famous now, they are also into a gray space between legal and illegal extraction of groundwater. And we know about it because we see the groundwater actually plummeting down, plunging seriously in some of the major cities of India. And situation is really frightening because most of the cities or almost all the cities, they do not have aquifer recharge plan in place at the city level. And as on the other hand, we know that the Indian cities are endowed with lakes and water bodies. We have completely forgotten what are the roles of these water bodies, and we are encroaching it, and they have become a place for dumping of sewage as well as encroachment is happening on it. So, concretization due to this unplanned urbanization is maddening, and they are happening and they are actually choking the urban sponges, which are supposed to actually absorb the extreme storm events. So, and at the same time, the extraction of groundwater is continuing. So we understand this situation of plunging groundwater level on one hand and destroying urban sponges on the other hand. And on the other side, we see the intensity of the rainfall is increasing due to the change in the pattern of the rainfall. As a result, we need to rethink about the designing of our stormwater drains because they are not capable of capturing this high intense rainfall. Either they are choked, they are not maintained, or they are not well designed. Solution actually lies in the makeover of these drains. So again, on the other hand, what we see is extraction of more and more of groundwater and use of groundwater means most of it is converted into the wastewater. We know 80% of the water we are using is converted into waste. And if the wastewater is generated, then it has to go somewhere. So in absence of sewage treatment plants, or if the sewage treatment plants are not working properly, it goes into the water bodies, it goes into the lakes and ponds. So the raw sewage is also polluting the rivers. So the sewage laden water is of no use. So we cannot supply this water to the population around it or in any city. the surface water and the groundwater, when it gets contaminated, the only way is that the city searches for more and more water, and it actually moves on. Like we have examples from different cities like Delhi, Mumbai, which is searching, Chennai, which is searching its water, new water sources. There is also an inequity of disposal of excreta. The most glaring ones are from the slums and informal settlement. A strong understanding of the transportation, treatment, and disposal of fecal sludge is the need of the hour. And water conservation cannot be a complete story without the reuse option of the wastewater. We welcome you all to this learning conclave where we will discuss all these issues together. And you, please, we request you to use this platform as a productive platform where we can discuss and come up with some agenda, come up with some solutions which will make our cities climate resilient. Thank you, everyone. And we welcome Ashok Kumarji to actually share his kind words.
Thank you, Mrs. Smita. If you permit, I'll speak from here. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see all of you here. The familiar faces are there. We are going to see those experts also and some new faces also. Smita mentioned very important points, of course, and then we can explain that. But one or two minutes time, people who have shut up to the NMCG thing, we have not heard of NMCG. Well, everybody has heard of NMCG. That's a great. Anyway, so NMCG and CRC have been doing a lot of joint training program, capacity building programs. But also, and then offsite site training programs, and also getting exploring various options of switching, etc. So Nita is a friend of mine, and she also has been in pushing to the fecal stress management, etc. And it also has I've been looking at they also has been working to come out with various solutions to water in several cities. So I'll just in a nutshell what and also some methods which we need to do. So I will do a lot of campaign called Catch the Rain. Catch the Rain, okay. So this is one of the very interesting campaigns which as missionaries, got the attention of the Prime Minister and campaign. So it is one of the very, very important ways of addressing the water related issues in the cities. Now, if you look at the topic mentioned, it is planning water conservation for climate resilient cities. So climate change, all except we all know what climate change is. Even we know what climate change is, we all have felt it, we all experience it. Moving around with cotton clothes and December, and then now we are all wearing coat because it's very cold. So lot of changes concept there, and we are feeling it. And the best part is that the sector actually maximum impacted is the water sector, and climate change actually manifests more in the water sector. And world over, climate change conferences are all limited mostly to the emission of gases and then energy. So water is actually not even a part of the discussions on a daily basis. It's one part of what I'm finding out. I've been with water for the last 5, 6 years. So we have been fighting to bring this anomaly to because most important manifestation of climate change is in water sector. You have flash floods, you have urban floods, it changed intensity of rainfall, maximum disturbance in the life cycle is one because of climate change. And most of the discussions always happens on the kind of fossil fuel reduction in fossil fuel, etc., will happen. So somehow discussion point water is missing out. So we have to first run that as an important point. But nevertheless, that's a theoretical exercise. We as water sector activists, we should take care of development. As I mentioned, in most of the cities, you find water logging as a very common practice, urban flooding is a very common phenomenon. Cities like Hyderabad, we never had any problem with water open 10 years back. We regularly have floods, urban floods. We see pictures of cars and so why this high density floods are happening? That's something which we will talk about later. But the adaptation part of it is very important because if you want to make a water resilient city, we have to actually plan for it. And unfortunately, water is never a part of the earning problem. Because water is not very, I would use the word sexy. For us, maybe transportation plan is very important. Maybe flyovers are very important. Maybe integrated highways are more important. Maybe orbital zones are important. Maybe green cover is important, but water is never a part of the urban side, urban planning. And in fact, in many places, water is a separate body. Water distribution is a separate body by itself. In Hyderabad, because of our heritage, metropolitan water service and sewerage. In Chennai, there's separate water board, and they will have no income. So, if you look at the water sector in the urban sector, water sector in the urban areas, all the development rights, the land income, all comes to the municipal corporation, who refuses to touch anything with the water. And what is handled by a water board, which is supposed to get some share of the tax collected, which never gets it. And because of political reasons, none of the water boards are permitted to increase the cost. The water pricing never happens. Pura Athavada with very poor resource base they have to manage, and the urbanization is increasing, the number of people in the cities are increasing, the water is increasing. We have all the old utility pipes. Many of the cities do not have proper sewage because sewage is never a part of agenda. So all these things are the problems which the water sector faces in the urban sector. But thankfully, the last 5-6 years, water has come in the agenda of the government. If you see, ever since the Prime Minister took over, Modi ji took over, there is an interested or increased focus in water resources. And if you look at when we talk about water security, I always say there are two very important aspects in water security: the quality aspect and the quantity aspect. So I'll just look at the quality aspect. 1 liter of bad water can spoil thousands of liters of good water. So it is very essential when the supply of good water is limited, we have to see that this little bit of polluted water do not spoil the available good water. But that is never happening. In almost most of the cities, the sewage is directly let into the water bodies. The water bodies, which were very good, has now become very bad. Now, most of these water bodies which existed have disappeared from the cities because of the real estate mafia. They would like to fill it up and make buildings out of it. I remember, I always tell the story. I remember as a vice chairman, Hyderabad Urban Development Authority vice chairman, I was called to the court for not giving permission to a welfare society which constructed a 4-story building on a water body, existing water body. So, Ittafaq se, the date where I was supposed to go there happened to be a very huge rainy day. And that day, the day before it rained so heavily that the flat they constructed, the ground floor was in water. So I went to in the court and said, this is what it's the problem. You are telling me permission. I'm not giving permission because they are in a water body. And now you say that you give permission, otherwise you'll have contempt of court. You decide either you want to give permission to that water body and spoil that water body, or you ask them to demolish the building. So I'm telling, the encroachment of water bodies is a rampant phenomenon everywhere. Most of the places are the water bodies miss because the municipal corporation doesn't find any place to dump the debris. All the construction debris are put into this water body. They get filled up, and it is a good convenience of everybody. Local people who would like to have this dirty, stinking water body missed out because they are letting out the dirty water there, and then mosquitoes breed. All those things happen, and slowly, the builders help them by filling the debris in that water body, and it gets disappeared. And one day somebody comes up, puts a fence and start building a house, and then that's it. Good apartments come up, very happy. So it's a huge convenience of a lot of people involved, and that water bodies are disappearing. So as Susmita was mentioning, we had many water bodies in urban areas. I know in Hyderabad we have more than 1,200 water bodies and lakes were there. Now we are left with maybe 300, 400. So the disappearance of the water body has to be probably addressed, and keeping that water body as a quality-wise improvement is also very important. We should not let sewage to come into it, and also see that the rivers which flow by the cities. That's another concept which NMCG have been doing, is the River City Alliance. We brought in a concept of River City Alliance, cities on the banks of rivers. There are cities and cities. There are cities on the banks of rivers. There are cities on the banks of lakes. There are cities on the banks of without any major river flowing by, like Bangalore, etc. But then we carved out a platform for cities on the banks of rivers to talk and share experiences, and also trying to bring river as an important element of urban planning. This is we have done in the last 2 years, very vehemently fighting with the urban planners, etc. We brought in this URMP, Urban River Management Plan. So why we brought that? We said that look, in India, look, for us, when we all go abroad, we take photographs on the banks of Nile, or sorry, on the banks of Thames, or on the banks of any of these Danube or Rhine and all, and think or seeing wonderful boating is happening here. We are in the cruise. But have you ever tried doing that in Delhi, on Yamuna, on the dark waters, trying to do a cruise? We never did it. We never wanted it, and probably our administrators never thought of it. So rivers for the administrators were just a dumb ground to put the dirt, somewhat push it down to the river will carry it down. So I transfer my problem to the next city down. Unfortunately, they don't realize there's a city above us also. They also the same thing. They also dump their waste there, so that the dirt from their city comes down to our city. And that's why you can see Yamuna is a dead black river in Delhi. So probably we should dream of a day when we have beautiful water flowing in river. We'll have boats plying in river, Yamuna, and the riverfront property value should go up. Probably in the world, India is the only country where the riverfront values have less value. Why? Because it's all stinking, mosquito-ridden places. Nobody wants to stay in the riverbanks. Whereas you pay premium price to stay on a riverfront in foreign cities. So the municipal administration should realize that there's a lot of money also to be realized there. If you have riverfront properties, the riverfront property value goes up, your tax collection goes up. You can have tourism there, you can have two cruise ride there, you can have entertainment zones there, aesthetics of the cities improve, the health of the city people improve. All things can happen if we have taken care of the water bodies. So that is the concept of River City Alliance, which we have taken, and we started with about 30 cities. I'll take about 5 minutes. 30 cities on the banks of, on the banks of River Ganga. We found that a lot of interest is there, so we moved up the higher gear to cover all the cities on the banks of all the rivers in the country. So now we have 143 cities of country as members of the River City Alliance. We held a meeting in Pune in last 2023 February. 103 commissioners came, 120 cities came. That's the first time we shared a lot of ideas about what are the water management issues of the city. So I went back to the Cash the Rain campaign now. Cash the Rain campaign was a very simple campaign, just asking you to catch the rain. This is the quantity aspect. So far I was mentioning about the quality aspect. So I'm just before getting into the quantity aspect. Quality aspect, STPs are being built. STPs are not functioning in the places. So we have to make them functional. We see that the existing good water bodies are protected. The existing good water bodies are not polluted by the sewage. The STPs which are built to run to clean the sewage, they have to ensure that it will run and then the good water comes into the water bodies. And the rivers which flow by, which carry sewage now, should be kept good and the good water flow in the river. That should be the quality aspect of it. Now coming to the quantity aspect of it, the Cash the Rain campaign is one very interesting solution because the water bodies are disappearing and the water rain which brings water are coming in at such a fast pace that you are not able to collect rainwater because it flows away very fast. As I was mentioned, our drains are small, so drains cannot carry all that water. And all our cities have become tile factories because every inch of the land is tiled, every inch of the water is, land is either carpeted or blacktop. So the water which used to go sink in the city always flows on in the city roads. And with such a small rains, this water, which is now coming with high intensity rainfall, all goes to the lower lying areas and having the urban flooding. So that's how the urban flooding phenomenon comes up. So we have to find a way how to keep the water safely in the city. That's where the city room for water comes in. You either let it sink down at specified locations and charge the aquifer, or you increase the volume capacity of the waterfall or water bodies to absorb this water and store it there. That is the concept of Cash the Rain. Cash the Rain, if you remember, the slogan was Cash the Rain, where it falls, when it falls. Our previous technology was store the water when you find place, where you find place. So we used to take this water somewhere else and make huge dams. So those days, the temples of Indian democracy was that they were all big dams which we built at some remote locations. We carried all the water there and built the dams there. But those days are over. We can't build the big dams now. So the best solution is store the water where it falls. And where you can have big reservoirs in the surface. So it has to go down. So we have to ensure that the water gets underground, recharges the groundwater, and use that water for drinking water purpose, etc. So now, as I mentioned, high intensity rainfall is coming. The water quantity, high rainfall brings in more water, which gets run off from the cities. So we should find a solution for storing this water there so that the increasing needs of the people are met. Now, why is it increasing? Because urbanization is increasing. More and more people come to the city, and so they require more and more water. More and more water they require, we have to find sources for water. We are now getting water from outside areas. Hyderabad brings water from Godavari 150 kilometers away and Krishna 110 kilometers away. So we are getting surface water there, adding to the water problem in the city by getting this water. And luckily, and that's where the reuse comes in, this water, which is used for drinking purposes and other purposes of mankind, we can get back 80% as sewage. So that's where the reuse of water is very important, which whatever brings in for this increased population, if you can start reusing the water by proper treatment, if you start using this treated water for non-potable purposes, whether it's irrigation, whether it's for industrial purposes, the abstraction of good water will be reduced. So we are left with good water, and we protect that good water from being polluted by dirty water. So we will get good source of water for drinking, and we catch the rain, store that good water there. We get sufficient water for that. And this increased demand of water because of the higher population can be sort of recycle can be useful. So this is some of the concept which Namami India has been doing it. So recycling of water is a big thrust which we are doing under the other India. We are monitoring the STPC being done at the Prague. I request all of you to come and see a Prague portal which we have started in Namami India office. 308 STPs are getting monitored regularly. You can come and see that how that STPs monitoring is happening. Monitoring of STPs ensures that the STPs are functional. STPs functional means that the water is getting treated. Water is getting treated means that at least good water comes in and the pollution of the good water does not happen in the cities. This is what the primary logic will do. So I took, I think, a lot of time. My time is over. Thank you for listening patiently for it. So I said a lot of things from water quality side and water quantity aspect side. Urban in sector is very important in the water sector area, but we always worked in silos. And that's where the Castellan campaign, we came out with the concept of a Jal Shakti Kendra. Jal Shakti Kendra in every district we have made in so that water talks as water. It's not, we don't talk as urban water and rural water. There are cases where the continuum is helpful. Good water, which is coming from the treated water, is being used for irrigation purposes. In Kolar is a good example, where the abstraction of groundwater was happening in a big way. They are using treated water for irrigation, and then groundwater is available for drinking water purposes. So, if you can look at as a whole, probably we can find solutions for it. So, I'm sure that something will come out of this today's deliberations, and there will be a lot of discussions on it. But the last point I would like to mention is that we should have action. Let us have action. Talking is bahut ho gaya. Let's start action somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have raised some of the very important points which should be taken up as an agenda. And we should actually discuss this in today's conclave. And surely we are going to get some very good solutions. So thank you very much, Shri Ashok Kumar ji. So Dipender ji, you have some words to tell.
Firstly, on behalf of CSC, I would like to thank Ashok Kumar ji. And also, I would like to thank all our esteemed participants, experts who have come today for this convention. And since before I speak more, I think I can do that later. But if there are any questions for Ashok ji, or on NMCG, I think that is a better time to take this up. Then I can say later on. But some of the people here were asking the future of NMCG and what is the next steps and also if you could.
Future of NMCG is very interesting because why do you think that why should we start thinking about the future of NMCG? Khatam ho gaya kya? Why are you people concerned about future of NMCG? NMCG ka future. I'll take it positively and think that at least you people that the mention of Ganga is clean to NMCG band karenge. Aisa nahi hai. We have to work on the tributaries and that was a joking part I would say. The future of NMCG is now on moving from the concrete and contractor driven agenda to more people driven agenda. From more of building to regulation. These are two things which NMCG is moving. When I mentioned the concrete, because up till now, our focus is on building STPs. We have constructed the STPs, 3,000 MLD, 6,000 MLD in the plan line. So in another maybe 1.5 years, we will be making about 6,700 STPs, minimum capacity addition for treatment of water. Now, once that is over, we'll have to see that they are run properly. We have to ensure that the tributaries are cleaned up. And then the role of people participation and sustainability comes in. And that's where the regulatory wing or the arm of the NMCG will be more prominent. So from the concrete, as I said, engineer-driven programs, it will be more of a people-driven program. It will be more of a monitoring of the activities in the areas. And NMCGs will be more of a coordinating and regulating all the works which are happening in that area. And we are now moved into natural farming in a big way, because natural farming is one solution to chemical fertilizers coming into the rivers from the fields nearby. So a massive program is done on natural farming. We are now taken up use and monetization and reuse of treated water and the sludge in a big way. Because we were all talking about, see, I can give you 1 hour lecture on that. We have started culture and heritage aspects in the Ganga basin, because every village in Ganga has a Rama or Sita story of Draupadi or a Mahabharata associated with it. So it's a huge potential to develop a tourism there. So cultural heritage, tourism heritage, we are also building a lot of capacities. The biggest problem in the system we face is that the municipal bodies do not have capacity to absorb whatever technology or money we are able to give. So we are coming out with capacity building institutions. And one last point I would mention, see, as a part of the decentralization and people making people part of it, we started with something called the district general committees. Are you aware of it? I don't know. There's a district general committee which we constituted in April 6th, 2022 onwards. Every district we have a district committee headed by the district magistrate, and DFO is the member secretary, and the people are there. These committees never used to meet earlier. From August or April, we started something called a DGC forum meeting. Forum is monthly mandated, minuted and monitored meetings. We have in the last 1.5 years done more than 2,600 meetings. All the meetings are minuted and is there in our portal. Anybody wants to come and see, I'm not, it is all available. You can see the portal in there. So this is a very important way of decentralizing the monitoring and administration. So from NMCG, which used to happen and everything was handled from here, we have at the district level handling it. So that is the future of NMCG. Power to the people, decentralized power to people, they will monitor it. And that's why NGT is now asking the district collectors, what have you done? What is happening? Pale, it used to be the DGNMCG, maybe it's a strategy to put it down, but we are not saying it down the district. So they are asking the districts, तुम्हारे यहाँ पे गंदा पानी है, तुम क्या कर रहे हो? पैसा तो एमएमसीजी देंगे, एमएमसीजी ने एसटीपी बनाया, चलाते क्यों नहीं है? उस डोम में गंदगी क्यों आ रहा है? Municipal commission से पूछो. And that is where decentralized monitoring and responsibility fixation is coming up. And that is the future of the country. And I think this is where NMCG is moving to. Thank you. Thank you.
Question. I think Dr. Gosai has also.
Oh, please go ahead. Go ahead. After you.
Because what you mentioned very rightly is that water falls between two stools. It's always a no man's land. No one seems to own it. Is NMCG looking at anything besides the committees that you mentioned by the district committee? Anything else on policy which can trickle down, although water is a state subject?
There are hundreds of initiatives, very actively running initiatives. Whether it is
urban city planning, we have a city planning planners forum, which we do that. No, which aspect are you talking about?
I mean, as a centralized policy, although water is a state subject, is there some idea on a centralized policy that can trickle down to ensure that water doesn't?
We started something called as a Jal Shakti Kendra. That's a central policy. Jal Shakti Kendra is a policy where we said that all water related information and resources detailing of that should be available at one point source. In the district so far you can't get it.
Yeah.
District now 600, 700 district Jal Shakti Kendras have been formed, and they are actually trying to work together. So urban, rural, agricultural, industrial, groundwater, surface water, all are being monitored and monitored
For the data.
That's what thing is happening. That's a policy intervention. District Area Committee is another policy intervention where we said that it will be monitored and by the local administration, not at the state level. But then we are supporting the use of treated water. National framework of treated water has been published by NMCG. We are going into all the phases. We have looked at the island policy because there are many islands in the rivers. Nobody is bothered about it. So we are not so there are a lot of things. I can tell you, Namamigenge is now spread out very, very big. I think Bhatta Batayenge. So many, from tourism to rural water to urban water to stall in Delhi Hut. The self-help groups, women products are sold. So a lot of activities are there. It is there. So you can come and see and I can tell you that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This is a
Yeah, good morning. I think a lot of is being done as you have mentioned, but I think still there are some missing links, some gaps are there. When we're talking about the rejuvenation of rivers like Ganga, we have to also look at the quantification. Monitoring is being done, but how we are evaluating through the monitoring, the evaluation part is still missing. So I think we need to really look at whatever we have done, any action, has it gone into the success side or is a failure? We have to learn from the failures also. So I think that part I will feel when you're talking of the district level committees, there is an interaction between the two districts. No district is independent. You might be able to look at what is their demand at the district level and how much they are using the water. But that is one part. And then there is some groundwater if you are using. You won't be able to tell whether you're using the next district's water or your own water. So I think those are technical questions which are very highly scientific. And they are is possible now in the present technology to resolve those questions and put in place the evaluation methods, whether we are going in the right direction. So I feel that that is something which is
Yes, always discuss for improvement, we'll do it. Incidentally, I just want to tell you, we launched Namam Niranjana last yesterday. Niranjana is the river in, so we have launched it yesterday with the ground in Bangalore.
Sir, myself is Pislesh Kumar. I am representing PhD Chamber of Commerce and we are certified water auditor. Sir, which have seen for the last, you can say 2-3 years, like say CW made a mention like those who are consuming 100 KLD, they have to disclose their NOC. But India, there are more than 10 lakhs companies are there. But still, only few companies are disclosing this thing. You can say matter of, you can say it's a very serious matter of the concern from the industry point of view. How we get the right disclosure from them? They're asking about, they are disclosing wrong thing. When we do the audit, they are putting the certain things. These are the major issues which we are facing in our in the industry background. Those are big organizations, they're disclosing things. From the MSME point of view, other organization, they're not
actually, see, to notice, water auditing was never a part of the agenda so far.
Okay.
We are now commissioned studies on the industrial usage of water and how to reduce it. And National Bureau of Water Use Efficiency has been set up recently. We have audited there for many years. It's now set up in 2 years back only, National Bureau of Water Use Efficiency. These are evolving. And when this type of statutory bodies come up, probably we'll start looking at the certification from the industries, how are they using it. And when more and more people awareness come up that in Kerala, you see many of the places, the old Coca-Cola factory and all that stop because of the people movement only. So people movement come up, they'll more aware. So these type of processes will help up, it will evolve. See, you look at 5 years back, nobody was bothering about water. That's the difference, 10 years back.
Sir, you can ask industry also. Industry can play a very big role in promoting your agenda. And
let me not talk about this. I know Kanpur is now clean.
Yeah.
But Kanpur में 700 crore rupees, 800 crores का प्रोजेक्ट हमने बनाया, तो इंडस्ट्री इसको 25 crore डालने के लिए वो मना कर रहे हैं. तो बंद करा के कराना पड़ेगा. So industries really understand the Danda language. They should now change the mindset and become 10 रुपया घुस दे के pollution control के certificate लेके चलाना, वो बंद करना. आप मुझे you are responsible to ensure that industries don't take that line. So let the industries also be very honest to themselves, telling that अगर हम गंदगी करेंगे तो we will साफ करेंगे. Proof principle has to happen.
Yes.
We were waiting for many years for them to do that. Finally, we came up and did it in Kanpur. Kanpur is now clean. As of now, Kanpur में पानी अच्छा हो रहा है. I don't know anybody from Kanpur here.
Yeah.
So nobody.
Sir, we intervene with
I hope you don't contradict me.
Deal with that, but compliance is a big issue.
Compliance. See, देखो, you can't jump around. ये पहले देवर आस्किंग कहाँ है, STP कहाँ है, तो CTP कहाँ है, अभी बना दिया, now compliance आ जाएगा ना. It is the annual thing. So let us see how it functions now. Compliance that's what you can come and see the Prayag today and see how we are trying to enforce compliance to a large extent. Today, tomorrow.
I like to raise one small problem of waterlogging in the city. See, all of us know what happens in the rain, 1 hour rain, what causes havoc in the city. And there's a very familiar scene in the city that you cannot place in the window bridge is full and one bus is stuck up.
I know, sir, I know.
A very familiar scene. Now the question is, do we lack technology? Do we lack legislation? Or there is a compliance issue? Why we are not able to do for last 40 years, we have been saying same thing. For this convention I attended 40 years back, same issue we discussed. Today we are discussing the same issue. Why we are not able to do
No, that's what I mentioned. 40 years back, you would not have seen so much of tiling in the city. The place I stay, I tell you, 10 years, New Moti Bagh was, it came up in 2010 or 11. 113 acres of open land was there. Now 113 acres of convey is there. So वो पानी कहाँ जाता है? So that is, so पानी, see the water, see it's a matter of compliance. Why people are making more and more concrete structures so that the water doesn't go down? No? We are now trying to say that water should be stored. It's a process which goes on, and at least people are aware of it. And I hope that the drives like Catcher and all will ensure that the rainwater is harvested and it is there.
Anyone else? Take one more.
Oh, very good.
Just take one.
Hello,
नहीं ये सामने इनके पास
hello. We have developed sustainable ecological sewage treatment plants. I am unable to get into any government sector for last so many years actually. I am not getting entry, but in the private sector I have done it. My longest STP is 50 KLD working for last 15 years without any technical manpower. It just keeps working. There is no sludge removal, no global warming gases, and the treated water is as per PCB norms. How can I get an entry to showcase at least any public sector?
No, we have, I think, we have our technology evaluations wing there. I don't know, have you approached us anytime, NNCG? हाँ, ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम है तो हम आपके पीछे में नहीं भागेंगे,
नहीं,
ठीक है, we company will take it up. ठीक है, so लिख लीजिए.
हाँ last question.
So actually we have made a compilation of last month only. We have released a book on all the constructed wetlands of the country. पूरा technology, I don't know आपके इसमें है कि नहीं, almost they've traveled all over the country and located all the constructed wetlands and as a solutions का company बना के रखा है. It's a website में available.
different than constructed wetland.
हाँ.
Totally different.
The bioremediation you're talking.
We are using that only at the last leg.
हाँ, ठीक है, देखता, I don't
We
know.
have done it in corporate level, maybe location.
Good, अच्छा है ना. तो
It's not getting further. I'm certain every village should have it because
Good.
technical manpower is not there.
पंचायत से पकड़ो, पंचायत कराएंगे, पैसा तो उनके पास है.
It's a one-time investment, whoever is doing it, then later on the operating cost is all.
We examine ना, आप बताइए. If it is successful, I'm not discounting it. It should be taken up somewhere. ठीक है.
So, मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा था, when we are increasing use of reuse and recycle of the water, is the data available how much we have reduced the withdrawal of the fresh water from the rivers? Is this data available? How the impact of reuse and recycle is?
तो चल रहा है, it's available. Some
data-
is available. See, Bangalore में lot of water is being used for irrigation purposes. We are now giving 8 mld treated water to the Mathura.
My question is that, is this having any positive impact on the withdrawal of the fresh water from the rivers?
हाँ, वैसे बता रहा है ना. Suppose if you are giving 20 mld of daily water, you are एमुना से ड्रॉ करके यूज करते थे in the factory. अभी तो हम 8 mld हम दे रहे हैं. So that means अतुल तो कम किया होगा. They will not flood their factory premises with water. So wherever we are substituting is good water. That's why I mentioned non-potable water usage को कम करने के लिए treated water use करना है. So that will happen. So if you ask me the figure, I can tell you places it's about 3 STPs. There 3 thermal power plants. They started using our water. So
NTPC, sir.
NTPC.
My question is that yes, any reuse will be definitely having impact. Is the actual data available on the reduction in the withdrawal of the fresh water?
No, it should be available. It should be available because once they start using that water to pani to so they will not take both the water, no. ठीक है. So one of them will have it should be available. Thank you. Anyway.
Thank you, Ashok Kumarji. And I know MMCG can't answer all the questions, but the questions are very valid. And from CSC side, I would again like to thank Ashok Kumarji. And he has to leave, then we will continue our deliberations after.
I invite you to come and see our Prayag.
Yeah.
Not Prayagraj.
यहाँ पे दिल्ली में एक प्रयास है they have a dashboard of all the STPs real-time data monitoring of what is coming, what is the BOD COD, what is being treated, what is its BOD COD. So he's been kind enough to welcome anyone to NMCG. They have a dashboard room where you can come and you can contact the CSC team or you can also directly contact. Thank you.
Thank you. So we break for tea and come back sharp at 11:30 to continue with the sessions. The tea is served outside. Rajiv Ranjan? Rajiv Ranjan?